Do you want to master the upper level classes? Stay tuned to find out how. Hello heroes, I'm Richard James, and today we're here to talk about upper level classes and some methods we can use when we teach them. Alright, some people find themselves out of their comfort zone when they teach a level 4, 5, or 6. They panic and they don't know what to do. I understand, I feel the same way when I teach a level 1 or 2 class, but something we need to remember is we work for Magic Gears because we're awesome teachers. They only take awesome teachers. If you're here watching this, you're awesome. But one thing we all need to do is always strive to be better. We need to learn new skills and new methods we can use in the classroom, and I'm here to give you some of the methods I personally use when I teach upper level classes. This is going to be for introduction, or how you greet the student. It's going to be for extension, and it's going to be for props. These three things can be a little different from what we've done before, but we're going to master it and we're going to really do awesome in our next upper level class. Alright, so now let's talk about the greeting. This is the first impression we are going to make on the students in class. So we want to make it count. We want to make it awesome. But how do we do this? Well, we kind of need to change our mindset. If you've been teaching lower level classes, your greeting is more than likely different from what we want to do in an upper level class. The students are more than likely older. If you go up to a 12 or 13-year-old and treat them like they're 5, they're probably not going to like it very much. So we don't want to do that. We still want to be friendly, we still want to smile, but we want to feel out the student and where their maturity level is. And the introduction is a great place to do this. So one thing we can do in the introduction is, instead of making silly faces and funny voices to try to get the student's attention, is we can be friendly and ask questions. And as we ask questions, we can gain the student's maturity and skill level. A question I really like is, what city do you live in? I know, this question sounds really simple, but guess what? You can get 3 responses that tell you a lot about the student. They're either going to know right away where they live. The response could be, I live in Beijing, teacher. And wow, that student got it. They know exactly what you're asking. And later on in class, you could ask some advanced questions. It could be, I live in China. This means they kind of got what you're asking. And there's room for a lot of extension, but it might not be so complicated. The third one, where they just either stare at you or they say they don't know. And this is going to tell you that when you have time for free talk and extension later, you're going to want to scale it down to the student's skill level. Depending on your class size, you can ask more questions. If the class is big, I would shy away from asking too many questions because we only have 1 minute and 30 seconds to do the greeting. And the greeting is important, so you don't want to spend more time with one and less time with another student to try to make that 1 minute and 30 second mark. Extension is a great tool to utilize in the Magic Gears classroom, and it just doesn't have to be for upper levels. You can do it for lower levels too. For instance, in a level 1 classroom, you can ask a simple yes or no question. Do you like apples? Yes, I do. No, I don't. It's a simple question, and they're learning the fundamentals of having a conversation back and forth. And we just scale up the skill level of that question in each level. Now, one thing that's important is the slides come first. So don't rush through the slides to try to ask questions. The slides, the vocabulary, and the key phrases are the #1 priority in your Magic Gears classroom. Now for the questions, one important factor is we got to stay on topic. If someone in the class really likes Harry Potter, but it has nothing to do with the topic, we don't want to talk about Harry Potter. There's going to be 3 other students in the class who will have no idea what you're talking about. And you're having a private conversation with that student. So we don't want to do that. But if the lesson is about Harry Potter, by all means do it. And if that's the only student in the class for that day, talk about Harry Potter. Give that student a great one-on-one conversation. If you have the time, talk about things they like and get them talking, get them conversing. And parents love this. You're going to get good ratings. Parents love to see their children having a conversation back and forth in English. It's mastering the skill they're learning. It's putting English into practice. Now let's talk about props. Props can be tricky in the upper level classes. Instead of dealing with physical simple things like cat and dog, we moved on to abstract phrases and words that really don't convey well in 2 dimensions. We still have to have our 2 relevant and educational props per lesson. So what can we do for these props? Well, we can use a whiteboard and write out the word. We can print out a picture of the word and show it. We're not really adding anything to the class though. It's already there on the screen. You're just showing them what's already there. So how can we make this more dynamic? Well, I like to think of science fairs. Picture going to a science fair. We walk around, there's tables set up, there's dioramas. So we can probably make a lot of these props from stuff we have in our kitchen. It's all there, it's cheap, it's relatively inexpensive, and it's going to add a factor to the class that wows the students and makes you feel good as well. One example I like to give is something I did in class. I had a lesson on water pollution. It was a standby class, but I got a little sooner, so I had like 2 hours to prepare. I'm panicking. What do I do? How do I make a prop for water pollution? Finally, I thought of something. I got 2 bottles of water. I kept one clean, and I put tea mix in the other to make it polluted. And I'd go to the students, do you want to drink clean water, or do you want to drink polluted water? They said clean. Which one should teacher drink? Polluted. So I pretended to take a sip. You don't want to drink in class. That prop really helped the students understand the concept of water pollution. It brought the idea of contaminated water to them. Do you want the clean one or do you want the dirty one? They could understand right there that they don't want to drink dirty water. Water pollution is a bad thing. Now, if you struggle with props, you can always ask questions and advice from the Magic Ears Family Facebook group. So there you have it. There were some techniques we could use when teaching upper level classes. We learned about the introduction, extension, and props. Now, do you have any questions? Or maybe you do the same thing I do. Maybe you can suggest something else. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below. We would love to hear any feedback you have or answer any questions you have. And in addition to that, you could sign up for my workshop on advanced level classes and talk to me one-on-one. Ask any question or get any feedback you want in a personal setting. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click Bonnie to subscribe and check out this next video we have for you.